Once again, continuing my series about emulation in the gaming industry. A lot of people responded to my original video saying, oh, Nintendo can do anything they want with their games. What if I told you a lot of those games that you think are Nintendo's property aren't? I'm going to give you an example, one of the most iconic characters from the NES era, Mega Man. Capcom made Mega Man and entered into a deal with Nintendo to publish Mega Man on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Or Famicom if you're nasty. So it's a Nintendo game, so Nintendo owns it, right? No, they don't. Capcom owns the rights to Mega Man. Nintendo owns the rights to Mega Man games published on Nintendo systems. But it doesn't own the rights to those games on all systems. It only owns the rights to those games when using the original technology to play them. That means that Nintendo owns the NES version of the Mega Man series. That's Mega Man 1 through 6. So Capcom actually can't legally repackage those games with an NES emulator in order for you to play them, because Capcom doesn't own the rights to the technology that reads and plays NES games. But Capcom still owns the games. So what does this actually mean? Well, Mega Man Legacy Collection is what it means. For Mega Man Legacy Collection, Capcom created an entirely new way to play the Mega Man games. They are not just emulating the Nintendo Entertainment System. They are reading the code from those games and interpreting it in a completely new way. This is also why they were able to add easy modes to those games. It's why they were able to add challenge modes to those games. It's why they were able to edit them as they liked. It wasn't just a ROM hack, they actually had the games playing in a new way. They weren't emulating a Nintendo Entertainment System. And because they weren't emulating a Nintendo product, Capcom was able to do whatever they wanted with those games. Thus, they ended up being released for the PC and PlayStation and other non-Nintendo systems, though those games were originally Nintendo games. Those are the sort of loopholes that we have to jump through due to our copyright law right now. But I would argue that the Mega Man Legacy Collection is one of the best acts of game preservation we have ever seen. It has a lot of issues like input lag, but it also lets you play the games with or without the console's original limitations. It also gives you insight to the design process, and it gives us features that emulated games just couldn't. So yeah, Nintendo doesn't actually own as much as you think they own. In a perfect world, we would have Mega Man Legacy Collection style preservation efforts for every game. But that becomes difficult, especially when the original companies that made some of these games are now defunct. But when some of you ask, what do I expect Nintendo to do other than resell ROMs packaged with emulators? That's what I expect them to do. I expect them to re-release their games in a way that actually preserves them in a thoughtful way, and not just repackage emulator and ROM code and cash in.